Hello and welcome back to Field Study, an exploration of food and the landscape. So it is most definitely the end of November now. So the wind is up and I'm out filming this dodging rain showers as per usual. The waves are absolutely huge down there. I'm on the top of the cliff on the Isle of Wight coastal path, and I'm going to be taking a short walk today showing you what is good to forage now in winter. Stay tuned. So the first plant we come across today is this, which is common mallow or Malva sylvestris. It's got other names like round dock. The main identifier for this plant is these beautiful roundish 5-lobed leaves. So the leaves will have 5 lobes on them. When they flower, you'll see that they have these beautiful sort of pink lilac flowers that are quite distinctive. To avoid confusing this with the geranium, just give it a sniff. If it smells like a geranium, then leave it behind. So it's a beautiful plant. It's sort of velvety and soft in texture, and if you rub it between your thumb and your forefinger, it sort of feels like a really soft cotton t-shirt. It's absolutely lovely. So this one here is common mallow. It has like medium-sized leaves. It is grown from a clump on the ground. You find it in coastal areas. We also have the tree mallow, which is the one that you might find on rocky coastline that sort of grows up quite tall. That one's actually quite good to eat as well. There's a miniature version of mallow, which is quite sweet as well, with smaller leaves. You've got marshmallow, which exists in marshy habitats, etc. So once you learn the key ID features of the mallow family, it really is a lovely nutritious green that you can start adding into your cookery. So one of the properties of this plant is that it is mucilaginous, which is a long word that basically means it goes slightly slimy when it's cooked. And that might not sound appealing, but it is incredibly useful for thickening up soups and stews. So instead of using flour, as you might do in order to thicken up a soup or a stew in the winter, you can add some of this, and the juice that comes out of it will actually slightly thicken the gravy or sauce, which is great if you've got anyone in your family that is gluten-free or a celiac. You can add it into gravy to thicken up gravy for a Sunday roast, and then just take it out at the end. But as a green vegetable, it's also very, very good for you. Because of this mucilaginous, this slimy quality that it has, it also has a cooling effect. So it's been used in folk medicine for millennia as a sort of cooling herb. So what you do is you chew it up and you release all of that sort of slimy juice, and you can use it to treat burns and scrapes and inflammation. And it makes quite an effective treatment to sort of cool down irritated skin. But because of this sort of cooling effect, it also once had a bit of a reputation as an anti-aphrodisiac. So if you were feeling a little bit fired up, you'd eat this so you could just get on with your day, I guess. So I can't vouch for that, but what I do know is it is delicious and it is useful. And those are two things that I'm very interested in. So this is a plant which appears early in spring. It will start to pop up. It's quite hardy. It grows on rocky exposed areas, so it has to be quite hardy. And because of this, later on in the year, in November, early December, you'll see hardy plants like this growing on roadsides and stuff, just giving it a go, you know, trying to get some growth out there and spread its seed, etc. before the winter sets in and the frosts fully take hold. I'm currently recovering from a bit of an illness, so what I need to do is get out there and find these lovely green vegetables that are poking their heads up now before the frost comes and kills some of them off. And use them to reinvigorate my immune system. Get lots of lovely nutritional food in there in order to set myself up for the winter. So a couple of handfuls of this will be coming home with me today, and I'm going to be using them, wilting them down and putting them in a lovely chicken ramen broth that I've got going on. And yeah, hopefully that will make me feel a little bit better. Right, let's carry on the walk and see what else we can find. It took a while for it to get cold, but it has made up for it in full force. The Anglo-Saxons used to call November Blodmånath, or blood month, and it's a month of sacrifice, and all the trees have sacrificed their leaves. It's the time traditionally that cows would go to slaughter to thin out the herd to make sure that there was enough feed for them over the winter months. It is an absolutely beautiful time of the year. I love being out in it. I've been cooped up indoors for a week and everything seems beautiful to me. The light is low and silver and glancing off of the sea. The pathways are creaking with mud. The limbs of the trees are bare and shivering. I love it. It's a fantastic time to be out foraging. I know there's something innate within us that makes us want to, at this time of year, start making preparations for sort of Christmas or winter holidays and to put the heating on and, you know, snuggle up indoors and hide ourselves away. But it is really important to fight that and get out and experience everything that the natural world has to offer at this time of year. Because if you don't, you'll be missing out on one of the most fantastic changes that happens on the face of the planet. So November is the perfect month for gathering seeds, and these beautiful rust red seed heads that you see here are the seeds of dock. So this here is broadleaf dock, and when the plant dies back, it leaves these beautifully red coloured russet sort of flower spikes. And they persist all the way through the winter and they sort of dry out. And these are in the same family as buckwheat. So they can actually be dried out and used to make a flour to add into your baking to make your normal flour more nutritious, or you can grind it down and use it to thicken up a soup or a stew. Again, if you've got someone that's gluten-free or a celiac, these don't contain gluten. So if you turn these seed heads into a flour, you can use it to thicken up soups and stews. And they have a lot of nutrients in. Unlike most wild plants, they have a lot of nutrients in. So it's a beautiful thing to add in just to, you know, give your immune system a little bit of an extra kick on those dark days in the middle of the winter. And they are really, really easy to gather. All you got to do is grab them in your hand and pull up. With lots of seeds that you gather, it is advisable to sort of get rid of the papery outer casing on the outside, but that is not so with your dock seeds. These are perfectly good to eat and they are absolutely beautiful. One of my favourite things to do with dock seeds is to pickle them and use them as a garnish. They look really, really smart and handsome if you pickle them, and then you use that pickling vinegar along with a few of the seeds to make a lovely salad dressing for like a winter salad on some like chicory, you know what I mean? So like some char grilled chicory with a little bit of that salad dressing on top. These beautiful pops of rust red colour. It really does look amazing. So in order to gather them, just grab the stalk like this and pull up like that, and you'll end up with a fistful in absolutely no time. Now this is a really, really abundant plant. It grows on country roadsides, footpaths, exposed places on the edges of cliffs like this. It grows on the edges of sports fields. You'll really find it absolutely everywhere. It's really one of the most abundant hedgerow plants up and down Great Britain. So you shouldn't have any trouble finding this, which is a great thing. And it really doesn't take that long to gather quite a lot of it. Now, if you are making it into a flour, I will put a link in the description below to a great video that UK Wildcrafts did, where he talks you through the process. It's relatively easy. All you need to do is dry them out first and then grind them down into a flour. So with so many seeds about at the moment, it's important for us to pause and think about next year. So if you want to exist in an ecosystem which is biodiverse, it's helpful if you use your human brain and these lovely tools that we've got here in order to be able to spread biodiversity. I think it's one of our duties as one of the biggest brained, most mobile species on the face of the planet to use those tools that we got in order to help the landscape around us. So with that being said, it is important not to pick all of these dock seeds, but gather some up, walk a little bit down the pathway and spread some. Guaranteed, because these things spread like wildfire, next year you'll have a patch that has doubled in size. The year after that it could have quadrupled in size. The most important thing for us to do now, with a little bit of knowledge about plants, is to gather seed and spread them in barren places. So if you look under oak trees at the moment, you will find acorns that have already sprouted. They would have put out that lovely taproot. Now those already have the spark of life in them. So they won't really grow underneath the shade of their mother tree. So what is best for you to do is fill your pockets with them and then put them in places that don't have oak trees anymore. Now our hedgerows in the UK were stripped of lots of their native hedgerow oaks many years ago. So what is good for us to do is to gather them up and throw them where we think they might be needed. Now don't do it near houses. People get a little bit stressed if you're planting trees near their houses, but you know, corners of abandoned fields, old disused railway tracks, bits on the edges of retail parks that are looking a little bit dead and in need of some help. I really think it is our duty to be the help that is needed. And how about this for a statistic? Now this will make you happy. If you're just throwing acorns willy-nilly about the place, then 10% of every acorn that you throw will grow into a tree. Now it might not grow to be 600, 1,000 years old, it might be cut down prematurely, but what you've done there is you have invigorated the landscape. Mycorrhizal fungi can take hold, it will add leaf mulch to the ground and improve the soil quality. It will do all sorts of a plethora of different natural processes which will just make the world a better place. Now that's 10%. It takes 10 minutes to gather 100 acorns. It takes 3 minutes to throw them in the corner of a field. It really takes absolutely no time at all to make a positive change on the world around you. Your actions could plant a little patch of woodland that your great-great-great-grandchildren could go to in order to, you know, gather acorns or sit and read a book. Kids can climb the trees. Squirrels can climb the trees. So the wind is picking up and the rain is coming in, so I'm going to stop preaching and I'm going to wander on home. I'm still recovering from this virus that I've been battling for the last week and a half. That's why there haven't been any videos. Very sorry about that. So the festive season is almost underway here in the UK and I'm very, very excited. So look forward to more winter foraging walks. The Forager's table is going to be back in the next few weeks with some festive drinks recipes and lots of lovely food that you can put on the table around Christmas time. Wherever you are, I hope you're well. Make sure you have the notifications turned on for this channel so you don't miss when I release another video. I'm going to be going live with a few live foraging walks in the next few weeks. So you'll get a little notification when that happens so you can join in. I'm going to try and do it on a weekend so as many of you as possible can join in, ask questions, we can get the conversation going. There really is a lovely community of you growing out there and it is amazing to see. I absolutely love it. So going to use that as an opportunity to sort of meet you guys and start a little bit of a dialogue, which I think will be an absolutely fantastic thing to do. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this foray into the British countryside on a lovely November day. If you like what you saw, hit the thumbs up button and click subscribe for more foraging videos and recipes from this beautiful landscape. Until next week, take care.